Jordan here at Parkour Visions. Today we're going to be teaching the standing precision. The standing precision feels like one move, but it's easier if we think about breaking it up into two moves. The standing jump and the precision landing. Both elements show up constantly in parkour. Present the standing precision early, doing a little bit in each class, and you'll see a lot of improvement. Jumping is an explosive movement that has a lot of impact on the body, so you want to have your students warm up really well. Even with a really good warm-up, jumping is going to be really strenuous on your students. So separate your jumping with activations, mobility, and even games. Begin by practicing absorption. Have your students stand on the balls of their feet with their feet at hip width apart. In slow motion, have them extend their arms in front of them as they squat down. Cue them to keep their chest up, their hips back, and their knees out. Repeat this motion a little faster each time. Eventually, they should be dropping quickly from standing in their squat so they feel a load in their leg muscles. Have them add a little jump and make it bigger if they feel more comfortable. Don't worry about cueing the jump form yet, we'll get there soon. If you are seeing knee collapse, have your students do glute bridges. You can also activate external hip rotation. In a squat, have your students push their knees together and oppose the pressure with their muscles in their legs. When you're satisfied with your students' progress, move on to the jump. Just like with the landing, we're going to teach the technique in slow motion at first to ensure they're moving in the correct pattern. On flat ground, have your students squat down to about 70 degrees while they bring their straight arms behind them as far as they can. Their feet should be at about hips width and their heels slightly elevated. Have them begin to swing their arms forward as they come out of their squat. Their arms should reach the end of their arc right as their legs straighten fully and they come up onto the balls of their feet. Add speed until they're performing a standing jump. Now find target. Ask them to jump as high as they can and land back onto their target with good form. As they get comfortable, have them to start to tuck their knees up a bit into the air. Now give your students a small gap. This is where movable targets come in very handy. Have your students repeat the same process for jumping and landing, this time crossing the gap. After they stick a jump, they can move their target back a few inches and repeat. Here are two common problems with standing jumps and two common problems with precision landings. Here your student is jumping with a very flat trajectory and their feet are landing directly under their hips, which is making their landing almost impossible. To get a better arc, give your student a small barrier to jump over. To fix the foot placement, ask a student to jump with less power than they think they need and extend their legs out in front of them while they're airborne. Emphasize getting both feet to the target, even if they have to bounce back. Here the student is setting up with 2 feet and jumping with 1 foot. They're jumping with 1 foot because it feels safer. Sometimes this can be fixed with a simple verbal reminder. If not, ask the student to practice jumping straight up with power. This type of jump is much harder to do on 1 foot, so it'll help the student reinforce a 2-footed jump. Now here are the precision landing problems. Here the student is landing with bent legs. Long legs are springs ready to absorb shock, where bent legs can't absorb nearly as much. First try verbally cueing long legs. If the problem persists, have them repeat tuck jumps with an emphasis on landing quietly. Here we see a whole host of biomechanical problems. The student landed asymmetrically, their knees collapsed in, and their chest collapsed down. Even when your student has multiple problems, only cue one of them at a time. Don't be afraid to send them back to an earlier progression. The basic movement pattern remains the same no matter what your students jump between. Additionally, the cues you give your students for their jumping and their landing remain the same, whether your students are jumping into a cat or they're landing their precision out of a Kong. If you can get your student bought into the idea of mastering their jumping and their landing precision, you're going to have a fun and engaging challenge you can present your students each week. Have fun and train safe.